Hello viewer, this is ARTMOSPHERE, your TV art program where we talk about no other thing but art. Today on this show, we will be talking about applied art. Applied art is the nexus between art and technology. You may find this a bit strange or new, but that is the new trend in art. Art is not static. Art is a branch of culture, and like we all know, culture is dynamic, and so art also is dynamic. Much of artworks produced today have a blend of not only art, but also with technology. And that is why we are making the focus of today's episode of ARTMOSPHERE, your TV art program, art and applied arts. And today we will be talking about applied arts. My guest is a professional artist. He's an experienced sculptor, and he now deviates into applied art, which is also known as industrial design. He is Mr. Sola Bada. And sir, you are welcome to this program.
Thank you so much. It's nice meeting you.
Thank you very much. We will be talking about applied art. So I would want you to lead us into this by giving us an overview of what applied art is all about.
Thank you. Applied art, from that word, is an aspect of art that has to do with industry. One is an aspect of art that has to do with mass production. It's an aspect of art that the end products are not necessarily meant for aesthetic value. Aesthetic value in the sense that we are typically familiar with in fine arts, which are an aspect of painting, drawing, and sculpture, which are not usually being mass produced, but are only meant for aesthetic. You hang them to give you a kind of joy when you look at them visually, when you mount them in your homes, in your offices, in public places for public to consume visually. But applied art is quite different from the concept of fine art. Applied art is to be enjoyed in their utilitarian values and purposes. They range from furniture, automobile designs.
Okay, we will go into that later. The bottom line here is that applied art is not just for aesthetics or decoration. It is primarily for the purpose of for its functionality. We use it to serve or do or perform some functions. Okay, now we will go into the components of applied art. What are the components here? So this will let us dig deeper into what it's all about.
So you are welcome. The components of applied arts are specified or streamlined in the areas of textile design, ceramics production, graphic designs, glass technology, jewelry making, furniture making, and so forth. You will discover that most of all these things I've mentioned, that is the graphic aspect of artistic design in illustration, which are meant for packaging of items. You see, when a product is produced from an industry or from a craftsman, it will need an advertisement. Then you consult the graphic artist to assist you project what comes from the hands of the producer. Then the textile design, every one of which, the way you are seated, I believe you are not naked. Even the shirt you put on and the trouser, right before those items, which are not visible to me, but I know quite well that you are wearing a pant and you are wearing a singlet, though it's not visible. It's part of our dressing. Even the toothpaste you use this morning before you come out to commence on your daily activity, it's part of the applied art. The shoe you are putting on, before the shoe you put on a socks, which has been woven on the industrial loom, is part of applied art. Then the biro you are picking up to write, you are not the only person that uses biro. It cuts across every aspect of human endeavor. It's under applied art. which are some artistic aspects that has to do with mass production and then mass usage. So you can see the difference between applied art that is part of our daily activities. Even our gentleman on the camera, somebody has to design that tripod. Even the camera, it has been upgraded severally to perform different functions of documentation and so forth. You can see there's beauty in applied art. So its usage is just unlimited. It's part and parcel of our daily activities that we cannot run away from.
I would want you to tell us, project into the future, what do you think is the future of applied art?
Yes, the future of applied art in this country has a long-standing hope, and I believe that it is the only aspect by which our nation can be more focused. The future, there is a lot of possibilities that Nigeria can still get to the high peak of the other related parts of the world who are advancing in technology today. There are many countries who do not have oil as their natural endowment, but then they have this idea of technology and they became richer than those people whom God has endowed with natural phenomena like the oil and gold and so forth. Technology sells like hotcake even more than people who has natural endowment like the oil. Okay. Because we know the value that is placed on technology when you are being regarded as one of the advanced countries. Okay. It brings in more money, it stabilizes the economy, it creates more job for the masses, it gives an avenue for foreigners to resettle and to invest on those sides. So in Nigeria, like the question you are asking us, our government has to be oriented to in the fact that they should not just think that art, like we are saying that art, to them, to a novice or a layman, they have usually resolved that art is limited to a mere picking of a pencil, to draw on paper and then take the paper to that. So they feel that art is not relevant. But meanwhile, art is a comparison. It's beyond that. Okay. So the future of this country, that creativity lies in art. Even to somebody who is creative, the sky is the limit for you to be able to get to the level of thinking, creating things, and then innovating things that have certainly not been in existence. Okay. Some people still believe that a white man or the Western world have carried out everything that human beings need, but that's not true. This as the point in time where we are present, there are so many things that are yet to be discovered. Right. In creativity, there are some people who will flow with the advent of this technology, that they learn what goes on without leaving your own base, that you can learn that, then it can give you an intuition of what you can form, what you can innovate, what you can invent. Okay. And then you can still repackage what has been existent. You go ahead and what a white man has. All right. Produced.
I know we can go on and on there. And viewer, we are talking about applied art, and my guest, Mr. Sola Bada, has been telling us quite a lot. But I would want you to be patient enough to see some of the items or artworks, as the case may be, that he has been able to produce. So do not go away, but come along with us. You are still watching Atmosphere, your TV art program. We are talking about applied art, and we established this as a nexus between art and technology. My guest, Mr. Sola Bada, an applied artist, an industrial artist, has been doing much talking, and he has quite a lot of works that he has to show us here. From there you will have a better grasp of all that he has been telling us. So once again, you are welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
So we have some artworks and items of creativity here. I want you to tell us, what's this all about? What do we have here?
Yes. The essence of the work I placed on this modeling stand, the modeling stand is just serving as a support for us to view the concepts of what I am trying to explain to you. This is an artwork that they produce with combination of two media, a plastic and a metal.
All right.
So the title of the work is The Global Village.
All right. In a nutshell, what can we say about this?
Yes, in a nutshell, we have the picture we are trying to look through here shows some ships, an holiday ship which is not being powered by engine, was being portrayed on a high sea. You can see the setting of the sun and the horizon. So when the missionaries, the early explorers are coming down to explore the coast of Africa to enslave the blacks, so that they can use those slaves to work for them in their industry. As at that time, they were still at the age by which industrialization and technology has not gotten to an advanced level. So the only thing they can do is just to come and rob us of our culture and then pick us from our environment back to the sugarcane plantation. So it was during at the sugarcane plantation, when the blacks were not given their total freedom, that they were working for them to improve the agricultural expansion. So a school of thought now cropped up by what you are seeing on this easel, because people felt that the enslavement of the blacks right from their base is man in humanity unto man, and they felt that there must be an end to abolition of slave trade. Though it was not easy, the British people have to fight that war within themselves until eventually the war was won. So when the war came down to an end, the blacks who were once enslaved regained their freedom, and then you can see somebody bound in handcuffs. So it's personification of those, in retrospect, the time when they were being chained. But then when they regained their freedom, they became an exponent of great entertainers. You can see the picture, a profile of a trumpeter. So I use that one to depict the greatest trumpeter, Louis Armstrong. So the invention of jazz music actually started with the Negroes, the Africa, who had been enslaved. So which led to the production of this type of instrument. The saxophone, I fell in love with saxophone. So it's quite interesting. I played the instrument very well. So this type of instrument, we have people like Fela Anikulapo of blessed memory, like Bada. So they entertain people at nightclubs and even in audiences until the instrument became part of what they used in the military up till date. So you can see in the background of the people, the black people entertaining their audience. So that the enslavement of the black man was a kind of a blessing to all, because they were exposed until they come down to the realization that they really have to be adapted into a society. Until the last American president was a black man, Barack Obama, and he played a significant role. So that's all I have about that, which is only fine art.
This is elaborate. What do you have to say about it?
Yes, here is a typical concept of a work of art that are titled other fine arts that are titled, because this one does not serve any utilitarian other than for aesthetic and the philosophy behind it. So this is fine art. I titled it African Family. It was produced in 1997. Now, when we want to those people who, by the time we are going down to the altar, you will be counseled by maybe in your church other marriage counselors that when you get married with the Western kind of culture, it must be you and your wife. That by the Western concept. But in Africa, When you get married to every other people that will come down from your in-law. They might even send somebody to come and live with you. Then it's like you trying to. It's not. They don't use the word adopt as if you are adopting such a person. You will live with you for a certain time, but it could come from maybe the groom's side or the bride's side. You embrace them. I was privileged to be brought up in that manner because at a tender age I never knew my mom. So my uncle has to take me up and manage me until what I am today. If my uncle has to restrict himself to that kind of orientation, I would have been nobody today. You won't have the period of coming down to come and meet Mr. Sola Bada to be interviewing me. So you can see that this work speaks volume.
So what title is it?
The African Family. The African Family. So and by that African family, I'm not trying to say that we are promoting polygamy, but I'm trying to say that one man, one wife can still be entailed, but then we can still have some people to be helped, right? Either from our in-laws or even from.
What does this represent?
This stands as the father. This is the mother. Then the face here is the parent that comes from the bride's side. Okay. The parent that comes from the groom's side. Then the attaché, the people that are living with you from either the both parties. But at a point in time, there are going to be a moment that they will exit. You can see things going out, that they will graduate from that level and continue their own family. So that's the storyline behind that.
Okay, let's talk about what we have here. This looks different from the last one.
Yes, this is the purpose of our discussion this afternoon. This is an electric potter's wheel.
Similar to what we have here?
Yes, maybe here
we can talk about this.
This is manual potter's wheel. The manual potter's wheel is just a mechanical device that has a sound knowledge of engineering components comprising of the round disc of aluminium with a taping hose that prevents it from creating damage onto your arm when you rest on it. Exactly. Then it has this loop of a rod where you put in your leg to kick, and then a flying disc. So as I revolve this in anti-clockwise direction, you can see that the disc is rolling. Yes. So the top disc is where you loaded your already processed clay from the studio to shaping out the clay into anything you desire. So I want to use a software at my left hand side by the stand to show you, to embellish how this thing goes. How you can generate a design right from the software, which is an aspect of technology. You can see as that thing is revolving, you place your clay on top of the disc as it's turning. Okay. So I click create, then I am pulling up. Okay. You can see the way I'm pulling up. So I want to shape in that thing to show us how a pot could be formed. So I'm trying to form a pot, a flower vase rather.
It's turning into a flower vase.
Turning into a flower vase. It's growing up, extending it to look much bigger. Yes. Now I think I'm satisfied with that shape. Then I click material. The material is just to let us know which type of outlook we want to end that process to. I exit it, then I'm now sending it down to an oven. An oven is an enclosure where you introduce heat to bake that work, to make it more solid and more convenient for health reasons. Because if you should leave it at that plain stage, when water gets in contact and it falls down, it can shatter into pieces, and then it can even create infection.
It's ready.
So it's ready. So you can you see the beauty?
Yes.
So now I want to.
It looks glossy.
It looks glossy. Now it's a two-firing process. Now I want to pick color to embellish it as part of industrial aspect for aesthetic value. That is to enhance the beauty of the work. You can see the color is coming up as I'm picking them.
Another color, a different one.
Different one. Then I pick this again. So color has come in, then I want to still carry on to bring in more decoration. I exit it again. Then I pick an icon of brushes. So there are various brushes that we can see in here. So let me pick from all. So many brushes from different countries. We have the basic, we have the Africans. Thank God Africa is mentioned. So we have a position to play in the Western world. They recognize us. So we have graduated from level of slavery to a point of recognition. So you can see that we are very important too. So I now pick, let me pick this and see what we are going to have on that. I picked that this option. I applied it. Did you notice anything?
Beautiful.
Beautiful. I picked this again. Did you see that? Pick this.
That's quite interesting.
Pick this. So let me go back and pick a portion that has to do with African. Yeah, here we are with African concept with a lady carrying a jar and he said, did you see that? Another design, see.
That's great.
So you can see what we have. We have not copied anybody's design, but we have used that software to create.
Exactly.
So I pick something, then I want to put a handle. Did you see that it has changed?
Yes,
or
it now has a handle.
You see that? So many things you see. Did you see that?
Okay.
Or
so in other words, what you are trying to tell us here is that the computer can generate.
It can generate
what we are doing here.
So this is the manual. Then I want to show the electric type. The electric type. You hear that sound. Once I hold my seat and I sit down, what I do, the play will be here, and I shape it on that color. What I do. So that is the electric
version of the
electric version. That's the development.
The manual version. Okay, and what we have left here,
yes,
the electronic version of it. Okay.
5 of these ones have been produced at different stages. Okay. Futa has come down to reproduce design by the student that came on IT.
Okay. Now, what about this?
Yes, this is a modern version of a blacksmith forging stove. Blacksmith forge.
And what's that?
This is palm kernel shell.
Okay.
Palm kernel shell is the only source of device that you can get used to produce the heat in anything you want to form from the this little chamber on top of the modern blacksmith forge. Okay. Like in the olden days, our traditional blacksmith produces the farm implements like the hoe, the cutlasses, the knives that we use on the farms. But even up to this present dispensation, this material is still very, very relevant, because in metallurgy or even engineering, there will be a time when you might need to turn to reshaping a very solid metal. So you need, they've been adapting this one to do that for your information. All these tools, we call these tongues for lifting those stuff we want to form on the ambi right from here. So these are different tongues that we use in holding metal while you are working with the army. And then it has a platform, or a support rather, at the side where you put in your water to cool the metal that has been heated up. This is just for us to pick the package shell from the container.
And this is fabricated.
I fabricated this by me in 2012.
This is quite robust. I really appreciate your productivity here.
Thank you.
Now let's talk about this.
In essence, we can. This one does not fall into applied art, yes, because this is under fine art, and it is the only one I can. There's no way, even if I'm to produce this one, it can never be exactly like this, the way we have it. There's no way somebody can be so perfect and so calculative to produce a painting and then you replicate it. That is not possible in fine art, except that is only possible in applied art. So I titled this work under an inspiration of G8, G20 in question mark, G8. The G8.
Those are the great, the economic
the economic bloc of
8 countries.
8 countries.
Okay.
Japan, USA, Britain, France, Germany, and Canada. See, they are the person that control the economy of this one. So the one very interesting thing about it, in fact, it was after I completed that work that I myself I was looking through. Because by the time you look at this, when you look at this straw, it's a continuity. You may not even know when they end. They were interwoven. Somebody was asking me, how get closer and then look at what I'm trying to pass across. You can see how the metal is going.
Yes.
Come this way, enter this way, come out. They are interwoven. So the concept, the general concept of that interwovenness is a band that will be binding the G8 together to control the entire world. That is a
in other words, those powerful nations are united.
They are united.
And from their unity, they derive their strength.
Their strength to manipulate
the rest of the world.
And that's anywhere where you turn this thing, all you see is 8. Turn it this way, 8. Turn it this way, 8. Did you see?
They are everywhere.
Everywhere you just see that figure it out. Even at the base, the 8s are interwoven.
Okay, so that's why you title it
G8 slash G20. The G20 are some other country, maybe when we have not been able to get into
that G20.
That G8. But the G20, the question are we packaging ourselves? Are we united that we can still be, even though we have lost the aspect of that G8, but what are we doing to fusing into that G20 if we are still doing something to get into that G20
group of G20 at least, and maybe later G8. That's an economic perspective,
yes.
And that is part of what we are talking about. And viewer, thank you very much for watching us. For some time we've been talking to Mr. Sola Bada, an applied artist, an industrial artist. You will consider all that he has been able to put up here quite worthy, quite creative, quite productive, and that is what we are trying to do in that. Things are moving forward, and it's good that we also move ahead with time, because most of what we see here are futuristic in the sense that they are not what prevails now. He's trying to anticipate the future, and he has shown us quite a lot of things that can justify his ability. And this is how far we can go on today's episode of Atmosphere, your TV and program.